Hunter.
I'm Rebecca. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Nessa.
This is the Family Showdown! Howdy folks, welcome to our top 10 games of 2018 revisited. So every year, at the end of the year, we go over our top games of the year, but of course we haven't played all the games that we want to play by the end of the year. So we revisit the list about midway through the next year, which is now.
It is.
I'm Hunter. This is the conductor of this crazy train, Rebecca.
All right.
So as we go through down in the downy bits, I will put where it landed if it's a repeato of the previous list, and I'll probably also talk about it as well. And I'll try to mention it as we go. If not, they'll be down in the little bottom bits.
Bottom bits. Is that like bacon bits?
Kind of like bacon bits.
There's
So
delicious bits at the bottom of our video.
So we've done this. I think this will be the third time we've done this.
Mm-hmm. I think
This was by far the hardest one to do for the revisited list, because before it's like, oh, let me play a couple more games that might change up the list.
Yeah.
This is the only time, maybe ever, making a top 10 that I had to cut games that I rated a 9.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. This was really hard, and I still feel like, I'm like, oh, did I get it right? I mean, they're just such solid, amazing games. I feel like this should be a top 15 to 20 this year. It was really amazing. And there's a handful of games that I really would have liked to have played that we just haven't gotten to.
Yeah, I'll
now.
mention some of those. I got a list of games that,
do you? Okay.
that have potential to be played that we haven't played yet.
Cool.
And tons of honorable mentions and all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But let's just jump right in. With my number 10 game. It's a brand new game to me. I just played this game last month at BGG Spring,
Ooh.
and it blew me away. I was pleasantly surprised how much I like this game, because A, it has an app-ish, has a website, and B, it's cooperative. What?
You sick?
Yeah, something must be wrong with me, because I love me some detective.
Wow. I really need to play this game then.
You really need to play this game. I think you'll love this game.
Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. So at BGG Spring, they had all the Spiel nominees, and Detective is one of them. And so they created kind of a demo short scenario to play for people to try out at the con. And it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. I was a little computer guy. I did all the computer stuff. It was fun.
So there's like different roles that you play into?
I just was sitting by the computer. So I was the computer guy. You do have roles, so to speak. You're all detectives, but you have different special abilities and powers.
Okay.
But you go out to different sites, and you go out and look up different things and read cards, and gives you information and gives you clues to go to other places. And you have a computer, there's like a website you go to, and you put in all the information you're collecting, and as you find different fingerprints, it compares it versus who you've talked to and who you have fingerprints with, and gives you different information, and it kind of drives the game. It is really cool. Yeah, it's kind of, there's all these red herrings, and you gotta go, okay, I don't want to know, I think that's crappy, we shouldn't go there, and we should do this and do that. Ooh. And then at the end, you have this like quiz. It quizzes you on everything you learn. And depending on how well you do and all the information you collected based on the computer program, all the information you put in the computer, it ranks you on how well you did. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I'm not a fan of app games.
No.
I'm not a fan of cooperative games, but I really enjoyed this one. And maybe I liked it because it was so quick, because it was about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I think the main scenarios are a bit longer. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I liked it because we did really well at it.
Well, do you think you'd like the longer campaigns doing more of the same?
I don't know. Maybe.
Interesting.
maybe.
It sounds really cool, though.
Yeah, it's really cool. I enjoyed it. It was great. So we haven't. This is kind of a spoiler to our in discussion, but we haven't played Chronicles of Crime yet. So I don't know. I might like that one more or less. I don't know. But I really enjoyed Detective. My number 10.
Very cool. Very cool. My number 10. I don't recall that we had played it yet. You can probably tell me. But that was Rising Sun.
We hadn't. Yes.
Have we played it?
We played it. We may not. I think we played it like the week after.
I want to
that
say
we made the list.
We
hadn't played it. It's not on my list, so we haven't played it yet. We played it literally like the week after we made our original list.
Yeah, and it's I don't see it on here actually.
We played it during Christmas break, and if I recall correctly, we made their 2018 video like the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
So
and it was just wow. I'm not this is kind of I'm not usually a fan of number apparently, because I don't usually like Amerithrash as much and area control and all of that, but it's just such a smooth game. It's amazingly overproduced and gorgeous and ridiculous, and the miniatures are a little freaky, but they're well made too. But it's just the design, the colors, the gameplay, everything about that. Once again, it was just another knockout of the park for them, and I just think it's a beautiful, amazing game. And if you haven't played it, but you liked Blood Rage or any of Lang's other like fighty game stuff, man, this is a beaut. I love the asymmetrical.
Did you say beaut?
Yeah, it's a beaut. The asymmetrical powers of the different tribes or clans or whatever you want to call them is pretty awesome, because to me it felt like each one of them was like, wow, this seems a little overpowering, right?
Right.
And then, but you look at the other one, you're like, wow, this really seems overpowering. I mean, they all have that kind of ability, but then each one of them, it just, it did amazing things for you, but it was balanced out with the other ones as well. And it was just really well designed game. Very cool.
It's all right.
Yeah, we will be hearing about it later, I bet.
It's a good game. It's like you said, it's very different from Blood Rage, but it has some of the feeling. It has the area control. It has the fighting. It adds a level of, I guess, is it secret bidding and things like that Blood Rage doesn't have.
Yeah, it's a little busier than Blood Rage. I mean, there's a lot more going on, I feel like, with that game.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
Yeah,
it's okay. All right, my number 9. We played this one at the Dice Tower Retreat for the first time, and I immediately wanted it, had to have this game. It was awesome. So I like economic games, and I like the full spectrum. I like the big, heavy, massive, spreadsheety economic games. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have Raccoon Tycoon. So Raccoon Tycoon. I can't talk tonight. Raccoon Tycoon is an economic game at its heart, but it's really very simplistic. If you boiled an economic game down into its very most basic form, this is it. So it's basically collecting resources, knowing when to buy and to sell them. Buy low, sell high. Or your resources, you take those resources and you're buying cards, you're buying railroads and towns. The railroads are set collection, and you can get some buildings that give you kind of special abilities and trick up things like that. But it's really simple. The turns are like zzz. It's just like the turns go like this. I mean, you do your turn and then you look over and get a drink and it's already your turn again. You're like, what? It's my turn again. And it's great. So it's if I was looking to have a gateway economic game, this is the one I would pull out to teach people, because you can almost teach non-gamers how to play this game. The only thing I would say that might trick it up is the buildings. Other than that, it is really light, but it's still fun, and it still has that economy I like of the resources that going out. So basically, as people take more resources, the price goes up and up, and then someone sells and the price goes way down, and you got to press your luck on when you sell the resources. It's just a really solid, fun game. It was my number 7 last time, so it's dropped a little bit, but not much. It stayed on the list, which is saying a lot, because there is a lot of good games above it on the list.
Yep. Oh man, this is just spoiler alert. Just barely didn't make my list, honestly, and that says something, because me and economic games, I'm kind of like, all right. Love playing this game.
This is the side eye. Giving you the side eye. All
I have
right.
a feeling I'll be returning the favor later with some of your choices, sir.
What's your
It's
number
very
9?
awesome. My number 9 is going to shock people, I have a feeling.
Shock and awe.
And it may change again. It may fluctuate just because of more plays, but the type of games that I've been leaning towards lately, this one kind of just ranked a little bit lower than them right now. But that doesn't mean it's not a good game, because it's awesome, and that's Forum Trajanum.
What?
Yeah! This was my number 1 last time.
Oh, you remembered, huh? Mm-hmm. Dropped all the way to number 9. Wow.
You'll see I've got a trend of games I haven't played,
wow.
but this game it's good. It's
Punitation.
good. It's been punished a little bit, I suppose. But that's just telling you the quality of games that came out this year, honestly, because I think had we not played some of these other games that came up, it easily would have been in the top 2 again. But some of these other games, man,
wow.
Ooh, I could play
I
them
don't
over
know
and
you
over.
anymore.
You do. It's really high up in the rankings of my Stefan Feld games. I really like those. It's not one of those that kicked off the top seat. You know what I mean? It was still really good. It's really solid. I still like Trajan better.
If I can quote you from the last video, because I watched part of it.
Did you?
It's not my favorite Feld. That's Trajan, but it might be number 2.
Yeah, see, I want to play it again. It's up there. It's up there. I want to play it again, because it's been a while since I played
it at BGG Spring.
That is so not cool.
Sorry.
I am so jealous.
Sorry.
I want to play it again. But no, it's really good. It's really good. It's just lately I've been leaning towards some of the other games. But no, as far as Felds go, it is. It's still awesome. It's one of my top. It's amazing. It's a good game. And if you haven't played it yet and you like those point salad-y goodness, it's Feld at his finest. So
this one may be a little slightly less point salad-y, but it's point salad-y.
it's true. It's true.
So let's just keep the love for Forum Trajanum going with my number 8, Forum Trajanum.
Woo woo!
So I did get to play this at BGG Spring again. It reminded me how much I liked the game. I don't think I like it as much as her, even though it's higher on my list. I think there's more Felds I would put ahead of this one. But it was an amazing game. It's got some pretty simple mechanisms. You're basically flip over some cards. You're going to pick a couple of tiles. You pick one tile and you pass the other one along. You'll end up with 2 tiles probably. And you pick one to play and one to kind of set aside. And that gives you resources and powers and lets you build tiles in the forum and go up on different tracks and all kinds of crazy feldy stuff. And if you like Carpe Diem, which we may talk about in a little bit. I don't know if we will or not. Maybe. I don't know. If you like Carpe Diem, this is a meatier version of that, because you're doing the same thing of putting tiles on the board, and the orientation of the tiles give you different benefits and junk like that. So
and that's one reason I think I liked it so much more. I think is because I like Carpe Diem, but this is like Carpe Diem plus.
Yeah,
and I really like that about it, kicking it up that level.
Yep, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a good one. So we're right back to your number 8.
My number 8. This cranked up the list from
last
time.
I missed it. It's my 3. Sorry.
Oh, was it your 3?
It's my 3 last time. It dropped down to number 8 for me.
This was my number 10 last time, but we've had multiple plays of this game, and someone's infectious enthusiasm for this game, I think, has helped boost it a bit, and that is Western Legends.
8?
Yeah, see? He's already pouting at it.
I guess it did go up.
It was a 10 for me last time.
It went up to 8.
And it's an 8. The game's theme, the thematic feel of this game is fantastic. It's an open sandbox game of the Wild Wild West, and you can decide if you want to go off and be, a goodly person and maybe even try to be sheriff and do all these wonderful legal things. Or if you want to go and rustle some cattle and gamble and rob banks, you can do that, and you can run around, or
nothing wrong with gambling. It's not bad.
No, that's true. You can gamble with both, but excessive gambling.
Excessive gambling.
So, can't you rob the place or something too?
No,
you can't rob the casino.
You can rob the bank.
You can rob the bank. It's just the bank. Yeah, but it's just there's all sorts of different things you can do, and anyway, it's open world and it's really fun to travel around, and you can pick up cattle and halfway there, you could be taking it to the train station and then like, nah, I think I'll wrestle them instead and just take them off to the other ranch. And, all of a sudden you get bad guy points and you can get good guy points. And depending on those, you get bonus points at the end of the game, potentially, if you're good enough or bad enough. And you also have to survive, because then I think, don't people get a bounty or something if they kill you? I'm pretty sure you can kill players. You just come back. But it resets your goodness and badness scale.
You don't die in the game.
It doesn't really die.
You take wounds and get your deck of your hand limit becomes smaller.
Well, yeah, and you lose all those cool bonuses you'd been earning and stuff like that. But it's nice because there's not actual player elimination in the game. But it's just fun. It's a fun world, and it's right up there with Zaya and Merchants and Marauders, and now we have Western Legends.
She sounds really excited about this for a number 8.
I love every single game in this top 10. I cannot tell you how much I agonized over this list.
I just shuffled them up and where they land.
Oh, whatever. Oh, man.
All right, my number 7. My number 7 is fairly new. We hadn't played this last time we made the list, so it's obviously not on my list from last time. And we're going to hear a lot about this later on, probably much later on. We'll see. And it is Underwater Cities. Underwater Cities is a worker placement game where you're basically building up a underwater city. So basically, you start off with one little domed little city, and you build out from there, and you can make kelp farms, and you can do all kinds of other things like getting more resources, different kinds of resources. You get cards, you end up building a tableau that gives you superpowers and be able to do cool and interesting things. You're trying to reach the mainland so that you can get some super bonuses towards the end of the game. It's just really solid little worker placement game. I like it. I like the card combos. I like all the different ways that you can get victory points. It's a cool little game. And we'll hear about it more later, so I won't go too far in detail on it. But some people, not me personally, and maybe not her, have called this a terraforming Mars killer. Yeah, I don't see it.
That wasn't me.
But one thing I do,
that was not me.
One thing I do like about it over terraforming Mars, although I do prefer terraforming Mars, is you're building out your own little world, right?
In
terraforming Mars, you're all working together.
Oh, that sounds cooperative, Hunter.
Kind of working
You don't
together
like cooperative.
to build out to terraform Mars. But in Underwater Cities, you're building your own little city. You're working on it. You have your own little thing that when you're done, you go, look, I built my own little underwater city. And it's a cool game. If you like worker placement, if you like card combos and tableau building and all that good stuff, it's a good one. You should check it out.
You should.
I got itchy nose.
Thanks for sharing. All right. My number 7, Correctamundo.
7.
This one, I'm pretty sure we had not played yet. And you know what? You should always eat your vegetables. I love Raycolt.
Wow, that actually made your list.
Yes.
I am
and it's
shocked.
my number 7.
I'm shocked.
I like Raycolt. I like the components. I like the way the game plays. I like that it causes you to plan. It's an interesting game because what happens is you've got a bunch of different tables and you're like hosting a meal, or I don't remember what the theme is.
Some kind of feast or
You're
banquet.
feasting,
Banquet. I think they're
banqueting.
banquet tables or something like that.
But as you progress, they're going to need progressively more of certain types of vegetables for you to move forward. And you get to each time on your turn, you have one table that you can pick in your move. If you have enough to pay for one table, then you also get a free move. So that's a really strategic thing, is when do you want to plan to get that free move? Because that actually gives you vegetables instead of you paying out. So there's this balance because you want to be able to go as fast as you can, but you're also building your own gardens that slowly give things back to you. They trickle back and then they empty out and then you can fill them up again. I mean, you've got this little engine you have to build, but it's about the timing. It's not about building just an engine that churns out stuff. It's about things that build them out and produce them in enough quantities at the right time so that you can keep moving forward. It's an interesting design. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy all of the planning involved with it. Not saying I'm incredibly amazing at it or anything, but I'm not. But it's fun to... I really like the design of that game, and I enjoy melting my brain a little with it.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I don't know. I mean, it's a good game. So basically, if you've played Agricola or Caverna, it uses that same concept of you have like a farm area, and you need one of a resource to seed it. So you like maybe you take one pumpkin and you put it down, and then you fill up that entire garden with pumpkins, and then every round you're going to get one pumpkin from that garden. Same kind of concept, but you need, like she said, there's the whole idea of on my next turn I need 3 mushrooms and 3 tomatoes and 3 carrots, and I got to figure out how I'm going to get those those resources to be able to do that. So it's a cool game. It's kind of a boiled down Uwe game in a way.
Yeah, because that's the mechanism, right?
Right.
It's not a side purpose to do.
I mean, there's worker placement
else.
to get to do stuff, but it's mainly the planting of the crops and harvesting.
Yeah, when to plant and harvest and stuff. But yeah, it's a simpler game than some of his others, but there's something really smooth about the design. It's one of those, again, it's easier to teach somebody how to play that game, but the strategy behind it might take you a couple plays to kind of get the hang of it, because you're like, oh, I don't get those vegetables back for a while. You know, right. You think about it. It's really neat. I really enjoy that game.
All right, that's a good one. So that was your number 7?
That was my 7.
All right, my number 6 is, well, and we hadn't played it. We played that for the first time on the Dice Tower cruise in January.
Was that when it was? Oh gosh, because it was.
That's the first time we played it. So my number 6 is Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan is a giant rondel of goodness. So the whole board is a giant rondel, and each one of those rondel spots is basically a worker placement spot. But your workers are dice, and those dice start out as weak little, wimpy little 1-point dice, I think. Maybe they start higher than that. But anyway, they start out low. But as you use those dice, they grow in number, and the higher the number, the more powerful the action that you take. But your dice get old and die. So
you kill dice.
So they age, and they go to the whether the streets of the dead or the paths of the dead or something of the dead, and you bury those dice there, and they're reborn as new dice.
It is an interesting thing. It's a very interesting concept.
But it's got a lot. It's a very, very much a Euro game. There's a lot going on. There's all these resource management going on. You're building a pyramid with tiles. You're going up different tracks to get different benefits. It's point salad goodness. But what really is cool about it is the play of those dice around the board and taking those actions and building up your dice and just deciding when am I going to have my dice ascend. And you get a benefit for that, but then you start over and they're crappy dice again. So
I love killing dice.
So it's a kind of a balance of how long do I keep those powerful dice and when do I switch gears to get the benefits of retiring the dice.
I have a feeling this game is going to continue to grow with more plays for me.
Yeah.
I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's if you like mid to heavy Euro games, you like the worker placement, like rondels. I mean, it's got
all the fun stuff.
It checks all the Euro-y boxes. So I like this one. I just like 5 games better. Teotihuacan. Or Teotihuacan.
Stop it. All right. All right. My number 6 will surprise no one because I rave about the decks all the time.
Oh, dear.
And that's Keyforge. Because Keyforge, everything about this game is glorious. From their exciting and scandalous, they found racy random name generated like decks and printed and were sent out. Everybody popping up on the internet. I almost wonder if they did that on purpose, just to even if they didn't have it, just so that people would be like, I want to go buy these decks so I can have my own crazy deck, And but for whatever reason, however this happened, it's hysterical. I love all of the decks that we have gotten so far, and playing this game is also fun on top of it. And just it's neat to have. I don't enjoy. Now some people do. But to a lot of those games that you do, collectible card games, like any CCG, you've got to spend a lot of time and money, usually, trying to perfect a deck and go and get the good cards, or else you don't have a chance. These games, these cards, the decks are already balanced. They're ready to go, so you still kind of have that fun feel of having a deck that is made and specialized, but you don't have to go through all the pain of doing that, and you just get to throw down and play. And I really like that about those. And it's just I don't know. There's just something entertaining about it. It's a really fun, well-designed game. I hope it sticks around for a long time, and that's Keyforge.
Well, it's going to stick around for a little while because the second set just came out recently.
Woohoo!
So
Can't tell you how happy I'm about
that's
that.
a good one.
Tis fun.
All right. And again, that's not on our list. We haven't had very many repeatos, have we? Foreign Trajanum and Western Legends for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Raccoon Tycoon for me. So not a lot of repeatos so far.
Nope.
But here comes a repeato. It was my number 6 last time. It's my number 5 this time, and it's super solid. Talking about midweight Euros, 90-minute sweet spot, dice placement, all kinds of Euro goodness. Coimbra. So Coimbra is, like I said, it's a dice placement game. So we're going to roll some dice. You're going to draft those dice. Use those dice to go out and draft cards. You use those cards to go up tracks and travel around the land and get secret objectives and get stuff every turn, stuff to get points at the end of the game. And you end up with a tableau of all kinds of different cards, moving up different tracks and point salad goodness to check all the boxes. I think
it does.
Checks all the boxes. I like this one again because I like dice placement games. I like the dice drafting part of it. Yeah. I like that there's many different ways to win. You can focus in on money. You can focus in on getting in-game scoring. You can focus in on getting cards to help you throughout the game. So many things going on. We played this one on the BGG cruise last year, and I taught it to Rebecca and a total stranger who I made who's now my nemesis from Minnesota.
Whatever.
I tend to talk smack during games, and she was a very quiet, demure Minnesotian.
She had the Minnesota nice, and you're not nice.
It was funny. She hung with it pretty well though, but
awesome.
It was funny. It was interesting. But yeah, I love this game. It's really cool. This one's a lot of Euro gamers, one of their favorite games of last year. And hey, guess what? I like Euro games. So it's one of my favorite games of last year as well.
You like Euro games? What a shock.
Yeah, but there's a trend with most of my top games.
Oh, I have a feeling.
But anyway, that's my number 5. 6 last time. It hung right in there. It is Coimbra.
There you go.
I can't roll my R. Coimbra.
Close. That's close.
Coimbra.
Not too bad for somebody that can't trill. Just fake
Is that what it's called? Trilling?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a symbiote inside?
No, that's a trill.
What's the difference?
Trilling is a verb.
Oh, okay.
A trill is a noun. And there's your grammar for today, folks.
So what's your number 5? It's not as cool as my number 5.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It may be that I have been swayed by all their pretty, shiny, sparkly things. It's possible. But I think hidden underneath all the shiny, pretty, sparkly things is also a pretty darn good, solid game of the type that I enjoy. And that is Everdell. I really enjoy this game. I really like...
I'm shocked.
The whole, getting cards and collecting resources and trading in resources for things. I don't know why I gain a lot of satisfaction out of those games lately. And we've had a lot of really good ones come out this year. And Everdell is definitely not the exception. I think we have the Shiny Sparkly Deluxe Edition too, which can't hurt, I'm sure, with that game. But it's not that the game is so revolutionary. You're like, oh, I've never seen a game that has these mechanisms before. That's not it. They have a nice, really smooth, solid gameplay with it. And then they tricked it up with all the fun little bits and everything else and the beautiful art. And that art, it should be winning awards. If it's not, it should for this year. I'm telling you now. But I really, really like that game. I really like the balance. I like how they made the tree. They did tiers, and you kind of work your way up, getting cards and stuff on the tree after you accomplish certain things and get stuff done. Really neat game. Really neat game. And if you haven't had a chance to play it and you like Euros, you should give it a shot.
I think you've kind of fell in. I don't know if fell in's the right word. You've kind of found your sweet spot of you like building the big card tableaus of things with combos and things interacting with each other. I really
enjoy that.
And this gives you that plus resource management plus worker placement plus objectives.
That's everything I really like.
Right.
And normally, again, like I said, it's not that game has anything revolutionary, but it just added everything in such a way, and it's all the stuff that I really like. And it was just tied up with a nice little bow at the end.
Literally tied up with a nice bow.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. My number 4, bring on the attacky
here we
with
go.
Lords of Hellas.
I am not surprised at all by this.
Lords of Hellas. So I just got the big, massive Wave 2 300 expansions with 4,000 miniatures. And I am so excited. I'm ready to play it right now. In fact, we're going to turn this video off and we're going to play it. No, we're not going to do that. But I just got Wave 2. It's got all kinds of crazy expansions, more monuments, big, giant, clunky miniatures, all kinds of superpowers, new heroes.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
It boils down to area control. But there is all sorts of things going on. There's many different ways to win, which I like. I like that it's not just
3 different ways.
It's not just like four different.
Is it 4?
4.
Oh, 4.
4
different ways.
I think there's 3 when there's 2-player, but maybe not.
Oh, okay.
But
that's it.
There is many different ways to win. You start off kind of weak, little wimpy little hero, and by the end of the game, you're like massive hero. You're fighting these big, giant sphinx and minotaurs and all sorts of stuff at the end of the game.
This sounds like every fantasy series or video game we've ever played.
Correct. You start off with this wimpy little hero, and by the end, you're like massive. I like the combat system. I like the miniatures doesn't hurt. I like that you have quests. You can get artifacts to make yourself more powerful. And like I said, there's many different ways to play the game. You can't just turtle up in this game. You got to go out and do stuff. You got to go capture temples and send your priests to monuments, take over areas. There's a lot going on in this game, but it's not, the base game itself is not like crazy complicated. I mean, it's a fairly, I'd say midweight game, but when you take a step back and look, you're like, there's a lot going on in this game.
Yeah, the overhead teach on this is pretty heavy duty, but once you get into playing it, it's pretty intuitive because, again, it's one of those that has a simplified turns. You do this,
right?
Boom, you're done.
Yeah, you have a series of things to do.
Yeah.
And it's if you like attacky area control games with a little more mural-y meat on the side, this is one that you should check out. It's really cool. The first wave, the base game, is in retail now.
Okay.
The second wave, I don't know when it's going to hit retail. It'll probably be a little while, but it's just a really cool game. If you like, I wouldn't compare it to Blood Rage, but if you like games like Blood Rage, this is one you might want to check out.
Yeah, I feel like it's closer to Rising Sun almost.
Maybe, but
yeah, it is, because I don't usually like, again, attacky, especially area control. I usually stink at area control, but again, like you said, because this game kind of forces you to get out there and adventure and do different things, and there are so many different options for winning. Oh man, I really like this game. It just, spoiler, did not quite make my list this time around, but I think, did it make it last time? Yeah, it was my number 8 last time, just so you know. Because of all the, like you said, the Euro-y goodness they have in there on the side, and just the way you do the battles, it's not complicated,
right,
and it's not super mathy, and it's not rolling dice, and you know, it's none of that stuff, and I really enjoyed that. It's real simple. It's almost Risk-esque, right? Like, this side has more than the other side kind of thing.
You basically add up the total strength of your side versus their side, and then you can play some cards. To adjust it.
That's almost like Blood Rage, right?
That's what I said.
Yeah, like that battle part.
It reminds me. It is got some similarities to Blood Rage. It's not a completely different game, but similarities. And I like the last time I played it. We played it at the Dice Tower Retreat. It's been a long time.
Boy, it has.
Last time we played it, and it was like 3 people. We played a 4-player. 3 people were in it at the end, and we were all trying to win the game 3 different ways.
Yeah.
And we were all within a couple of turns of accomplishing what we were trying to do. So,
well, and the 4th person was just new and was not as into it. It wasn't her type of game.
It wasn't her type of game, yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I think all 4 could have had a good shot.
I think you were going for area control. I was going for capturing temples.
I almost had
and the other guy was doing, like, killing monsters, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was going crazy on the monsters.
So yeah, it was just really cool that 3 different people playing the game 3 different ways were within a turn or 2 of all winning their different ways. So it's really balanced. Anyway, I've talked enough about Lords of Hellas. It's awesome. Go try it.
It is. That's a very good game. All right, my number 4, Hunter already said that we would talk about it. He was correct, and that is Underwater Cities. Oh, goody goodness. So, yeah, I was not the one that you said who said that was a
I'm saying that's a
Mars killer, but because to me they're two different games.
Right.
They have different mechanisms involved. I think we've even discussed that on previous channel
One's
episodes.
card
stuff.
drafting, one's worker placement.
Yeah, exactly. Goodness, this worker placement stuff is though it's so much fun. And again, I like that city civ building. I guess it's more of a civ because it's multiple cities. You're trying to build up because humanity's trashed the planet. Yay, no surprise there. But we're trying to, instead of reaching out for the stars, we're going to stick around on planet Earth and, populate the oceans and try to do this and that. But you have to do it safely and blah, blah, blah. You have to be able to breathe and all this stuff. And it's cool because the little components they have for it are like these little bubbles, little bubble domes. So you're making these little domed cities under the ocean. And you got to connect them up. Almost like power grid style, right? You got to make sure you can get power to them and this and that. I really love the game plan for that. Again, it's another one of those where you need to plan out your turns, plan out your resources, plan ahead, make sure that people aren't stealing what you want to go for, have a backup plan if they do, and it's a solid game. I have a feeling people will be talking about this one for a little while.
Yep, it's a good one. I knew we'd talk about it. I thought it might be a hair higher, but, 4 isn't bad. Oh, I missed it last time. Lords of Hellas was my number 2 last time.
Wow. Why the drop?
It only dropped 2 to 4. That's not that big of a drop.
That's huge.
Because a game actually went up. It's rare. It's rare that a game goes up from the previous list to this list.
I have one that did
usually
that as
they
well.
go down. But this game went up because we just played this game like 3 days ago. And I'm like, I remember how much I love it. I love, 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 love. Crown of Amara. So Crown of Amara, that was my number 5 last time because we'd only played it once when we made the list last because we didn't own it. But we played it. I played it once in the Dice Tower Cruise and again, just like I said, a few days ago.
That was awesome.
And it is so smooth. It is like butter. What I said to Rebecca at the end of the game is like it reminds me of all those 90-minute Euro games we love. Yep. Like Lorenzo, and I'm trying to think of them. I'm drawing a blank. Great Western Trail, and all those mid-weight 90-minute Euros. It takes that for us, boils it down into 45 minutes, and it feels just as you've accomplished just as much as you did in that 90-minute game.
Yeah,
so it's faster. Something. It has just as much substance, has just as much good decisions. It's got just a little bit of puzzly, which I like when you're trying to go, okay, I got these 3 cards. What order am I going to play them in? And I got 2 rondelles going. Which ones am I going to move? Yeah. One's resources. One is your actions to convert the resources to stuff that eventually gets you victory points. It has 2 scoring tracks. Your score is based on which one everyone's the lowest on the track. Just so many great things, and like I said, we can do that game in 45 minutes flat. Yep. It's crazy.
All right, my number 3 is one that we did not play before. We've played it fairly recently, and I was just overwhelmed by the smoothness of this game, and that is Gugon.
Really? I am flabbergasted. I am discombobulated.
I am really surprised by how much I liked that game.
Verklempt. Yeah, that too.
Anyway, you're trying to get favors.
I'm taken aback.
For the Emperor. Are you done?
Yes.
I just like the way this game goes. It's just an interesting gameplay. It's not like anything else that we've really got. What's the name of the main mechanism? Help me out here. I'm brain dead.
Playing cards?
Okay, I guess so. I thought there was more of a name for it. But there's a strategy to like playing a high card versus a low card, giving you more abilities, planning your moves, because you only get a certain number of cards to play, period, and then what you're getting back is like what you're trading out for there. So if there's a card there, you're going to get that back, but what you're putting down, is what you're losing that card, and so you're not going to get that high or that low number again, and you need it for different things. And you have to play, what is it, every time you have to play a higher card than what's there?
No, you get a benefit if you do.
Yeah, you get a benefit. You get an extra benefit if you do, which it's almost, to me, it feels like a waste of most turns if you were to not play a higher card, honestly, because some of the stuff is a fairly small action. But the benefits and bonuses are really great and make it worthwhile and more efficient for what you're trying to do. And I found that really cool. There's different tiers to the palace or whatever it is, and you're trying to get different things accomplished and grabbing all your resources and victory points, and I don't know, I just found that was really smooth. I was surprised how smooth the game was.
I got zero impression you liked this game that much.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you say that? No, I loved it. It was so smooth. I mean, I was at first, the wheels were just cranking while I was playing it, though. I'll be honest, because I was trying to figure out how it all worked, and just the trying to balance which cards to play when, because you only have some high cards, and sometimes you have to play some terrible card, and to me it felt like a waste of a turn to play something and not get a bonus from it. But then you get the reward of having that really good card that's going to allow you to get something really good elsewhere, and just figuring it out. Yeah, I really enjoyed this game.
Who knew?
I did. It's good. Go play it. This is another one of those, wasn't it? Another 90-minute
Ish, yeah.
Ish game, and
maybe 2 hours. I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to say it was less.
It
than
was
that,
forgettable.
Though. Was not. Was not.
No, it's a great game.
Forgettable. How can you say that?
It's on my honorable mention list right here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. I enjoyed it.
Or maybe it's just on my mention list. I don't know if it's honorably mentioned.
Man.
My number 2 is Rising Sun.
No one's surprised by this.
So I played this game at the family showdown retreat. I don't know if that's a family showdown retreat. Our personal retreat that we had in the Christmas time, we played this. And I was just blown away.
That was, yeah.
It was so much fun. It was, like you said, there's all the superpowers. Everybody's clan is crazy powerful. There's area control. There is negotiation. There is smack talking. There is killing and slaughtering. There's getting these big, giant, clunky, humongous monsters fighting for you. It's just awesome. This game is really, really, really good. And I was really hesitant to buy it. In fact, I didn't buy it because we won this at the Dice Tower Retreat as a prize at the game table exchange giveaway gift
that was
thingy.
The coolest thing
and
ever.
It was so cool. And so I don't know if I would have bought this because
we liked
Blood Rage.
Blood Rage, and we're like, it's more the same.
Right, and Blood Rage can play 2 players, not really super amazingly. It plays great 2-player, but not amazing 2-player. And this one, Rising Sun, takes 3 players. So we're like, there's no reason to get it. We got it and like, whoa Nelly. Because it's a beaut.
You know what's funny is he acts like he's got witnesses right now and he's safe. All I have to do is just edit this part out of the video. If he comes back with a black eye, you know what happened.
I just really love this game.
No,
as soon as we were done, I was wanting to already play it again. I didn't want to put it away. It's going to be one of those, few and far between plays, but when I do get to play it, it's going to be
fantastic experience.
Amazing. In fact, we once the resolution's done, this is the first game we're playing.
And that doesn't surprise me a bit either.
So that's number 2. We didn't make the list, like Rebecca said, because we played it just after we made our original list. So, Rising Sun.
Truth. All right, my number 2, you have already mentioned. This is one of 2 games that went up my list from our first plays. It was number 3 last time, and that is Coimbra.
Don't show off. Coimbra.
Anyway. Coimbra. All the things that he said, and then some. I don't usually like dice, but there's so many different ways to manipulate the dice in this game. You're doing lots of things with the dice, and it's not just a static, well, you're stuck. Enjoy, I mean, it's just like there's a lot of different things going on with it, and I really, 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 really liked that. I want to like dice games. It's just that they hate me. And this one builds a really cool game, and it's not just that.
You're not rolling dice, you're drafting dice, which is different, right?
Totally different. I don't want to say totally different, because you can roll a whole mess of dice and be like, well, we're going to have a fun turn, but everyone suffers together.
Right.
So, maybe it's the commiseration that makes it a better game. I don't know, but it's just, I really, really like this game, and it's just nothing but growing on me at this point. So, it has gone up.
It's a good one. It's a good one. So what's my number 1?
Oh, I should know.
It is...
Oh, I know what it is. It's
Western Legends!
I should have known. I should have looked.
Western Legends!
I should have looked for the cowboy hat on the floor before we started.
Western Legends!
That's quite a combo you got going on there.
I am the Jamaican cowboy, baby.
Okay. No, this game. I already talked
I'm
about it.
Jamaican this list awesome.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
So, Western Legends, it is sandboxy, cowboy, gambling, crazy, cattle rustling, bank robbing, beating people up, getting robbers, all sorts of craziness. Oh, this game, it is the best game of the year.
Tell us how you really feel.
So, Western Legends, what I like about it is it feels thematic. There is sandboxing. By sandboxing means there's many different ways to win. You can be a good guy. You can be a bad guy. You can sit in the bar and gamble the whole time. You can rustle cattle. You can get robbers. You can be a marshal. You can decide, I don't like being a marshal anymore. I'm going to be an outlaw. I'm going to kill people. I'm going to, no, not kill people, but I guess you can rob
kill bandits.
People. Kill bandits. You don't kill bandits when you're a bad guy. You like bandits. No, I don't know.
I mean, you could still kill bandits.
Anyway, Western Legends, if you, like she said earlier, if you like games like Merchants and Marauders and Zaya that have that open world where you can decide what you want to do, there's not objectives, there's not goals, there's different things you can do. It is great. The 2-player version actually functions. You have like a kind of a dummy player that runs around and does stuff, but it actually worked okay 2-player, but this game shines at like 4 players. I think 3-4 players.
Yeah.
That's where it is. Once you get above that, it takes a little while for the turns to come around. But the turns are interactive because you could get robbed.
It's true.
Someone could have a poker game in the bar, and you can go, I want to join in because I'm in town. You jump into that poker game.
It's true.
It's just so good.
It's
so
fun.
good. This doesn't win best thematic game of the year. I will be very disappointed.
He will flip this table.
But the problem is, probably might not get enough votes because
a lot of people haven't played it. Maybe?
A lot of people haven't played it.
Oh, really?
Maybe. I don't know. But it is dripping. It is dripping. It is just oozing with theme.
That sounds so appealing.
My number 1 game of the year, Western Legends.
Nice. So what's mine then, if you are so smart? You don't know. You don't know.
Space.
Nope.
No?
Nope. I love Space.
It's not Space.
Nope.
Holy good goodness. Space didn't make your list?
No. I know.
What wacky world do we live in? Let's see.
I told you, this was a really tough list for me to make.
Azul?
No, that was another one that I agonized over. It was very tough.
Oh my gosh, what? You're crazy.
No, well, there may be that, but not with this list, because it's awesome. All right, fine, I'll put you out of your misery. Crown of Amara.
I thought you already mentioned that one.
No, I did not.
She didn't mention that one?
I did not
She
mention
didn't mention that one.
No, but it was number 2 last time, and it's my number 1 now.
Because you punitated Forum Trajanum.
Oh my goodness. I smack your hat. But everything we said about Crown of Amara before rings true, and then some, because it was that magical shortening of the big meaty games that we really love to play all the time, and it had like everything included in it. It had the rondels and worker placement and resource management, and you can go into town and buy people or do certain actions, and I don't know, it just had everything in it that I like to do. And it had it all nice and neat and just nice, shiny, concise. game. And it really does feel like you've played for an hour and a half when you get through that game. It blows my mind how they did that, because no other game can pull that off. I've never seen a game pull it off like that. It's just really cool. And again, it's not that it's anything... there's no new mind-blowing mechanism in it, but what they used and how they did it was so well done. Just amazing. Good job. Thumbs up for Crown of Amara. The number one game of the year.
Close to the number one game of the year.
My number one game of the year.
I think this is your number one because we just played it. You beat me by 2 points.
That is garbage, although that's funny. That's funny. But no, that is not why I like a game, because I win. If it was because of the games I win,
like games.
Rising Sun would be nowhere on this list. That's for sure. Probably Western Legends wouldn't be on there either. I don't think I've ever won that game. Have I won Keyforge? I think I've come close. Yeah, if it was by winning record, there'd be a lot of different games.
Well, you just listed all your games and you said you haven't won them, but you did win Crown of Amara, so you're kind of reinforcing what I just...
I'm just saying they wouldn't even be on my list. You know, but Space Base would be on my list.
My game can beat up your game.
Oh my gosh, not likely.
All right, so there it is. There is our top 10 games of 2018. Revised, revisited, reworked, redone.
Rambunctious.
What?
You're just throwing out our words.
So I'm gonna throw out quickly, like super quickly, our games from last time, because you can watch the video.
You should
at your leisure.
Do it.
So number 10 was Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. Number 9, Pandemic Fall of Rome.
That's
Number
good
8,
too.
Carpe Diem.
Yep.
7, Raccoon Tycoon. 6, Coimbra. 5, Crown of Amara. 4, Brass Birmingham. 3, Forum Trajanum. 2, Lords of Hellas. And 1, Number 10 for Rebecca. Number 9, Century Eastern Wonders. 9, Lords of Hellas. 7, Carpe Diem. 6, Luxor. 5, Azul.
Yep.
Stained Glass of Citra. Number 4, Space Base, which I don't know how that's not on your list. Number 3, Coimbra. Number 2, Crown of Amara. And number 1, The Punitation of Forum Trajanum.
It's like the desolation of Smog. The punitation of...
So I'm trying to wrap up quickly so you can get about your day. But by the big heavy hitters that we haven't played yet are Root, Chronicles of Crime, Endeavor Age of Sail, Decrypto, and Welcome to.
Oh yeah, Welcome to. Yep.
My honorable mentions are, some of them made her list. They didn't make my list.
Yeah.
Architects of the West Kingdom,
Yep.
Everdale, Gugong, Space Base, Carpe Diem, and Raycolt.
Cool. I've got lots of honorable mentions. Like I said, this was an agonizing.
Give us a handful of interesting
All right,
ones.
Luxor, Fireball Island, Lords of Hellas, Azul, Stained Glass, Space Base, Century Eastern Wonders, Carpe Diem, Architects of the Western Kingdom.
Just listed my list again.
Pretty much. Stuffed Fables, Raccoon Tycoon. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Just One, Gingerbread House. There's I had so many.
There's a lot of good ones.
Pandemic Rome. Did I say Gizmos? Gizmos. No. Teotihuacan. Oh yeah, Ticket to Ride New York too. That was a hardback. There were just a lot of really good games that came out. And some of them, again, I think a lot of people forgot about because they came out so early. In 2018, they're like, was that a 2018 game? It seems like every year we have the discussion about that too. So it was kind of interesting to revisit this list and it was an overwhelming set of choices. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I may be feeling, I don't know if Cult of the News is the right thing, but this may have been the best year of games for us since we got back into gaming.
Yeah.
I don't remember having this many amazing. It always seems seemed like there was a 9 or a 10 that was kind of like, it's okay. And this is, I had to kick Brass Birmingham, which is one of my favorite games, off the list. I had a game that I rated a 9 not make my top 10.
Oh yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I had the same problem. I I'm not, it's kind of laughable how long it actually took me to build this list because, again, like you said, Space Base and Azul and Lords of Hellas in particular, those three, I felt should be on my top 10, and I'm like, but I can't make 13 fit in 10, you know?
You sometimes do. You mix Roll and Race for the Galaxy and War of the Ring and Battle of Five Armies.
That's the other thing.
You could say like Coimbra and
Gugong.
They're all not North American.
What? Yeah, that's about it.
All right, well that's it. That is our 2018 top 10 revisionist history. I don't know what I just said.
Wow.
Next week, the plan is, and this is a maybe, but we're going to try to get it done. Next week, we will be doing, or in the very near future, our top 10 city/civilization games. This is a repeato of a list from February 20th, 2017.
Ooh.
So it's a year and 2.5-ish years ago, 2 1/3 years ago. Yeah, 2 1/3 years ago. That's what it is.
Math.
So we combined them last time. I think we could probably split them this time, but for comparative for comparative reasons, we're going to keep them combined. I think we could do a top 10 city building and a top 10 civ game, but since we combined them last time, we're going to combine them this time so that we can compare and contrast the list.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. I don't remember what was on my old list, so I'm probably going to have to go back and watch.
So this is top 10 building stuff games.
Building stuff. This is going to be a tough list.
You're building up an empire. You're building buildings. You're building up a civilization. You're building houses. You're building things. City and civilization building games
and stuff.
So that's it. So we'll see you
next week.
Baby
Baby shark doo 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 doo.